So, good afternoon. Happy Sunday. Happy Juneteenth weekend. I hope everybody had a great Juneteenth weekend. And the weather has been really great. So, again, I really hope people got to get out and celebrate and enjoy their time, celebrate your blackness. Um, and yeah, hopefully people understand like the importance of Juneteenth and what it means to our history and celebrate it. Like be unapologetically you, unapologetically black, unapologetically great. Um, 'Cause yeah, it's dope. It's dope to be black. So um so my episode today is actually kind of um a different topic than what I probably usually do. Like I feel like I talk about career as far as like my career, but I haven't really done too many episodes on career and like workforce and work life and all that kind of things and how that impacts us as adults. So I did see a posting on LinkedIn that I thought was really interesting, and I think it was something that I wanted to share and kind of go from there and see what we can talk about. So I'll read it out and then go from there. So, like I said, this is from LinkedIn and it's from this guy. I don't even know if I actually followed him or it just came across my feed on LinkedIn. Also, if just before I get into that, if you don't have a LinkedIn, please get one. It's free. It's a free um way for you to network yourself, and you can make sure you get your resume out there. You can find jobs on there. You can just, like I said, network. It's a really great way to network, and especially whether you're trying to go into healthcare or whatever field it is that you're trying to go to, especially if you're somebody who wants to work in a different state, or like even if you want to stay in your own state, but you want to make sure that you're um getting like the best top jobs, and it'll evaluate your resume, I think for free for you. I can't remember. I've joined it a long time ago, but it's definitely, like I said, it's a great way to network as a professional, and you can always adjust your profile and promote yourself. And I think that instead of like using things like Indeed or other job sites, this one is a little bit different because you know that these are typically legit recruiters on there, and like you can come have conversations with the company and the CEO, whoever else, just to like verify information and just find jobs that way too. Because sometimes I think sometimes those jobs that are on LinkedIn are not on Indeed or other apps and sites too. So just putting it out there, especially for someone who's like just getting into the working field and trying to build themselves and make sure you get the top job. You know what I mean? Get the top job, get the top money, promote yourself, put yourself out there. So make sure your resume is together and make sure your profile is together and you promote yourself. You can even put like a banner that says open to work, and you can say what kind of work it is that you are looking for. They will email you like jobs too. So again, it's a good way to kind of get yourself out there. I believe that's even how I found out about my current job, um, through that LinkedIn site. I think someone had posted about the program, the fellowship that I'm in. Also, I finished my fellowship. Shout out to me. So maybe I'll post my picture that I took this past week with my director. Um, he was giving me my certificate. So your girl made it. I survived the fellowship, and I just have to get through the summer of doing a detail, which is like basically some hands-on training slash experience in the role that I'm going to be moving into, um, and going from there because I have to complete a full, even though I've completed the program, I started the program later than most people because of budgets. So I started at the end of September. So because it's a government job, like their requirement is for you to do a complete 52 weeks in your hired position. So even though I've completed the fellowship in June, I still have to complete my 52 weeks, which would bring me to September. So that's why they're kind of stationing me in this detail for the remaining months to just get some hands-on training. And I have like other stuff that I'm doing too. I'm still doing projects and everything like that. So it's not, I wouldn't say smooth sailing, but it's definitely like the program aspect and the requirements and like all those trainings I had to do and certificates and like the project and the presentation, all that stuff, like that's done. So that's behind me, thank God. So now it's just more so getting my hands on practice and kind of waiting it out and to see what role I end up placing in for my final position. And that will be a higher position, like 2 grades higher than what I am now. So I'm excited for that and well, for multiple reasons. Mainly money, but um but also just like the experience, stuff like that. So anyway, my point is like definitely get on LinkedIn if you're not on there and make yourself a profile, especially the younger listeners, get older to whoever age, whatever. But if you're just getting out of college or high school and you're trying to like promote yourself and get, like I said, some real good jobs and like find and network and everything like that, it's definitely a good site to do that. So this post was on LinkedIn and it was from this guy named Tim Davis. I don't even know. mm, I'm just thinking about like I took a screenshot of the actual like post, but I didn't get his like where he actually is from and like his job and stuff like that and like the company. So, uh yeah, my apologies on that. I just thought about that, but yeah, the message is this. So, it says, oh, it says some stages in your career require persistence more than passion. Many of us have encountered these phases, engaging in tasks that seem below your capabilities, navigating through a corporate structure that appears more politics than practicality, feeling stagnant in a position while witnessing others progress effortlessly. It can be frustrating, challenging your patience, confidence, and sense of purpose. However, these periods hold significance. As Oprah once said, do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do, echoing the sentiment of Amy Cuddy's advice to fake it till you feel it. These aren't mere cliches, they are actionable strategies. At times, you must persist, showing up early, prepared, and composed, even when overlooked. Leading before officially holding the title can be part of the job. Growth may involve endurance. This doesn't imply remaining silent, but being strategic. Focus on the long term goals, uphold your values, and prioritize genuine skill development over mere accolades. Upon reaching your desired destination, you'll bring a profound resilience, self awareness, and perseverance that can't be feigned because you've already embodied it. So I felt like this was really great, especially for myself and other people. I've talked about this on the podcast before, like how I had lost my job and just what that entailed for me and like the different um it's definitely a humbling experience and how it taught me a lot of things about myself and just lessons in life in general during that time. But also even like with this current fellowship, I definitely went back and forth about applying for it because I had graduated already from grad school and I felt like I just wanted to move straight into my role versus feeling like I had to do not even like an internship, but that internship style type of uh thing, you know? And so kind of fellowship is still like it's a little a step up from an internship, but it's still very much internship style. So um, like I had already graduated and I felt like, oh, I don't necessarily know if I want to go that path. But I thought about long term how the trajectory of the program of like, okay, you just have to endure this position for a year and then you're moved up two positions higher, two levels higher than what you started in into like a higher management role. So it's like it is worth the sacrifice of, you know, uh taking a kind of lower cut pay and not even a lower cut pay, but lower position, kind of getting your foot in the door. That's what they say a lot of times. Like it's a foot in your door position. So, um, I took that and I'm glad that I did because I've learned a lot of things, excuse me, within the VA, but also about professionally and about myself and just getting my foot back into the workforce in general, right? Because for me, it was a different experience than other people because I hadn't been working for almost over 2 years. It was almost into 2 years. And I've worked a good part of my life, like since I was a teenager, but um as far as like professional jobs, like I felt like I had a good momentum going, and then when I was in the position of losing my job, I felt like I kind of lost that momentum and it shifted into more an entrepreneurial uh flow. So then I was like in my entrepreneurship and I felt like that was going, but I obviously knew at the long run I still needed to secure a position that would uh, professionally support me, but also just like that's what I went to grad school for, right? There's no sense in wasting the degree. Excuse me, allergies are bothering me. Wasting the degree, and the whole point of me doing it is because I had a goal. I wanted to be a administrative and in healthcare administration management role, being able to make changes within healthcare and policies and things like that. So, keeping that in mind, I still was applying for jobs within that field, even though I was doing entrepreneurship. And so, I say all that to say, like, coming into the fellowship, I had to shift a lot of things about myself and my trajectory and my mindset, um, to be able to succeed to get to where I am now, which is like completing the fellowship. And I definitely felt like there were times where I caught myself feeling like I was not necessarily above certain things within the fellowship, but feeling like, okay, I've already done these kind of things before. Like I did come in with a lot of skills professionally and education wise. And so a lot of the things that they had me doing, I had already done that before in grad school or in undergrad or just in other jobs that I've had. And so I think that I was coming into it thinking I need to learn about VA. I don't need to necessarily learn about how to do the job. But then as I got along within the fellowship, I realized that it is a combination of both because coming from someone in my position who's been in healthcare for a long time, I've always worked in um the private sector, as that they say. And the private sector is considered like your main hospitals. Like at least in Boston, like it's Boston Children's Hospital, Mass General, etc. Others, again, like in other places, it would be just whatever your main hospitals are in your city. And with the VA, they are literally their own healthcare system. So they do things a completely different way. And their system is completely different. And so start whether it comes from the billing or even just like getting approval for certain things. It's a completely different system. It's very military based and federal um like structured. So that's completely new. Still is completely new to me. A lot of things are just completely new with the way that they do things. And so being able to get exposure to both has been very interesting, but also something that it was a learning curve for me. And so um just kind of focus on what the passage was saying is like many times in our career and throughout our life we go through these stages where sometimes you do kind of feel like you're being uh not I wouldn't say set back, but you're kind of like, like I've already kind of been in this type of thing before, so why can't I go to where, what I've been working for and what I'm trying to go to? And sometimes I feel like it's a way for us to learn it in a different way than maybe like, okay, I'll use myself for example. A lot of the skills, like I said, I've already developed before in other roles, but I had to learn and like shift my mindset to be like, okay, just because I have these skills and they're coming in with the skills are great because it'll come easier to me, but also um times change, things change. And again, I'm dealing with a completely different healthcare system than what's on the outside, so to speak. So being able to just be a sponge and really be open to learning new things and learning uh not even new things, but learning things in a different way, in a new way, is something that I feel that I learned to do within this fellowship. And I definitely recommend people being able to do that in their careers, whether you're in a fellowship or whatever the case may be, joining it, starting a new job, starting a new position. Always come into it like being confident in yourself that you have the skills, but also always being like, I don't know everything and I'm here to learn everything that I can. So, I think that changes the way that you come into stuff too, and the way you look at your career and definitely like it says like um comparing or seeing sometimes like okay, so even in the fellowship, um a lot of the people a lot of the people started the fellowship on time in June. Myself and a good decent amount of other people started the fellowship later on. Um And so, like the people who started on time in June, they've reached their full 52 weeks this month because it's June. And so they're eligible to move forward within the position. They're the position that is promised to us within this fellowship. And there are other people who started, like I said, later at the same time as me. They're also in a position to be able to move into their permanent new role position. And so at first I was feeling a little salty about that because I'm like, how is it that these people started the same time as me or after me, but they're able to move forward and I'm still kind of like stuck in this fellowship student type of role. And I've already completed the fellowship. I did everything that you asked me of, and I'm ready to go now, right? I'm ready to go now. And I'm ready to get my money, get my raise, get everything, right? And so I spoke to the director about it and he explained to me like how that's their system works and like how a lot of the people that even though they started at the same time as me, they if they've been with the VA already, then the time thing for them doesn't really apply because they've already put in over 52 weeks. If that makes sense. So, and also just, I don't know if you've seen on the news, like there's a lot of things going on with the VA if people are retiring early and taking a payout to basically leave the VA and clear out a lot of positions. And so with that happening, I've been suggested and, advised to just wait it out because with that happening, it'll be more positions opening by the time I've hit my year in September. So it almost works out better for me. Because I remember like when I started a position in September, I know it was budget or whatever was the reasoning, but I kept kind of in the back of my mind and like in my prayers and stuff asking like, why did you start me later if you knew that I was gonna have to like be in this space of completing it and now I have this open time within the summer to not really be able to move up. Like I want to move up faster, right? And so obviously I didn't foresee all this other stuff that was going to happen with the DRP and the rifts and all the stuff like that. So I'm glad that I hadn't hit my year right now because I want to make sure everything is cleared out first, as far as them getting rid of people. And I don't want to be on the chopping block because I would be technically in a position to be in a chopping block because I'd be starting over as a probationary employee. So, um, yeah, I don't want to go into too much more about it, but like basically it's working out the way it's supposed to work out. And I say that because of the part in this post where it says feeling stagnant in a position while witnessing others progress effortlessly. That is something that I felt like I was feeling before learning all that information. And now I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? I'm good where I'm at, you know? It can be frustrating and challenging to have that patience and then the confidence and the sense of purpose, right? Because if you feel like, all right, dang, like I finished what everything that I need to do, or like I feel like I've done all I can in the position that I'm in and I'm ready to move up. I deserve the promotion or I deserve the raise or whatever the case may be, or I want to move to a completely different department or a completely different company or whatever, and it's just not working out. Sometimes it's not you, it's just the timing and or maybe other things need to be cleared out that you don't know about or you can't see. And so it's while it's frustrating, you just have to do what you have to do until you can get to do what you want to do. And like it says, fake it till you feel it. Like sometimes we are put in positions that we don't want to be in. We're put into roles that we don't want to be or tasked with things that we don't want to do. And sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do until you can get to where you are doing things that you want to do, right? It's all for a purpose. Sometimes we can't see what the purpose is. Sometimes we do, and we still, we're human. We still don't want to do it, but we know that we have to get to the next step. And so this is not even just in career, but this is in life. Sometimes we have to stay in these spaces that we don't want to be in. Maybe we feel like we've outgrown this relationship or we've outgrown this city that we're living in or uh the job or whatever the case may be. And you or a place like your home, like maybe you want to buy a new house or uh move out of your apartment, whatever the case may be, and you feel like you keep hitting these obstacles. Sometimes it's not you, it's just the timing, and you have to just take a step back and let things flow as they're supposed to. Some stages in career or in life require persistence more than passion, right? Sometimes you just have to keep grinding it out. You have to keep fighting through, even when it's looking like, when is this gonna happen, right? Um, the most important thing is that you stay passionate about what it is that you have in your heart for yourself and that you're trying to accomplish. And throughout the obstacles, remain confident, have a sense of purpose. I'm telling you right now, no matter what happens, if you have a sense of purpose, nothing can stop you. You might fall down 49 times, but you get back up because when you have a sense of purpose, like that is one of the most powerful things you can have on this earth as a person. I was about to say as a woman, but I mean, yeah, as a woman, as a man, whatever, right? Um, if you have a sense of purpose, like you wake up every day and you know exactly, or not even exactly, but you just have a very great idea of like what you want your life to be, what your goals are, what your 5 year plan is, 10 year, 3 year, 2 year, 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, whatever. Like you know what you want to accomplish in your life. You know what your goals are. That's all you need. That and confidence and persistence and patience. And those things will get you exactly to where you want to be. Again, that's in career or just in life in general. Because when you have a purpose and you have a sense of that, nobody can mess that up. You know what I mean? Like that's between you and your higher self, God, whoever it is that you believe in. Like nobody can take that from you. People might try to tell you, "Oh, no, you're crazy," or whatever your ideas or whatever your passion is or whatever your sense of what you feel is your purpose and your plan is. Other people don't have to agree to it or understand it. And a lot of people won't, but that doesn't matter. As long as you know what you're doing and where you're trying to go and what your goals are, that's all you need. And that and your perseverance to keep going and get through it and figure it out. How is it that you're going to accomplish these goals? That's the most important thing. And when you have that, man, you're unstoppable. You're really unstoppable. And um I feel like your higher self, the universe, God, everything will work in your favor and work with you to accomplish those goals, right? Once they see how passionate you are about it and how focused you are about it, um, it'll everything will transpire to help you get there. That makes sense. So, I'm trying to see what else he said on there. I don't think there's really that much else to comment on. That was pretty much the gist of the post. Like it says, focus on long-term goals, uphold your values, and prioritize genuine skill development over mere accolades. So, like, not focusing on what, you know, what even roles you get or the titles and things like that or certifications, stuff like that. It's more so about what you accomplish and um what your goals are and maintaining those and maintaining your values to get there, right? Don't change who you are or try to um appease to somebody else just to get to somewhere. Like what do they call, I think they call it, what do they call it, brown nosing or something? I think that's what they call it in like the corporate world, like brown nosing, like basically, you know, kissing kissing behind just to get there. Like, hey, if that's what you want to do, more power to you. But I will never do that. Like, I feel like for me, if I gotta do all that, it ain't for me because the things for me will literally the door will fly open, right? Like the doors will open. I won't have to change who I am or kiss somebody's behind to make them feel like I need to beg for a position. That'll never be me. I will never do that. I'll make my own position before I do that, or I'll go take my talents and my skills somewhere else. Never let anybody make you feel like you gotta do change who you are just to get to a position. Never let anybody make you feel like you're below them just because even if they are in a position that's higher than you in the corporate scale or whatever, right? Even if you have a manager or whatever, yeah, you have to be respectful because that's just who you should be in any type of situation, respectful of other people, but never let anybody make you feel like you're below them either. Just as much as like whatever it is that they had to do to get to that position, you could do that or better. So, yeah, like keep that in mind too, especially in the career world and when you're, mapping that out and just in life too, right? Like nobody is higher than you, um, unless that's what you want to think, but never let anybody think that you have to like brown nose for them. You know what I mean? Like, nah. What's for you is for you. Nobody can change that. You don't have to change who you are for that. But that's pretty much kind of what it was saying too. Like focusing on your goals involves you like upholding your values. And when you get to your position that you're trying to get to and completing the goal that you want to get to, you will be very proud of yourself and you'll appreciate everything that you went through because it was all part of the plan, right? And all part of the purpose for your life and for your goals and what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Sometimes, like I said, it just takes a little bit more work, a little bit more perseverance and things like that, but you'll get there. So, um, I hope this was helpful. And as always, this is Chanel. This is the Black Hippie Lounge podcast. If you haven't already, please follow me on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I put these on YouTube now too, so that'll be helpful and great. Um, and uh, follow, like I said, subscribe, and you can message me if you have any questions or something that you want me to talk about or you want to be a guest. Definitely searching for guests. I like doing that. And as always, take care. Like I said, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your Juneteenth, enjoy your Black weekend. I don't know why I said that. I don't know. Yeah, that's mad random, but it technically is a Black weekend, right? Because it's Juneteenth, but uh, it was just funny how I said it. Anyways, like enjoy Juneteenth. Hope you get out, enjoy the sun, hit the cookouts, get some plates. You know what I mean? And it's the beginning of summer. Hell yeah! So I'm excited for that too. We got some great weather this weekend. We got a heat wave of some sort coming this week here in Boston, so I'm excited for that. I love the heat. Um, so yeah, stay cool, stay hydrated. Um, and as always, meditate, manifest, invest in you. I'm your host, Chanel. This is Black Hippie Lounge, and take care.